on my daily walk. Decided to come fuck with y'all. You know, as you get older, you gotta stay in shape, yo. I learned that the hard way. And not being as active as I was in my younger years definitely caught up to me. Let's talk about it, though. You got Jaron, Ennis, Eimantas, Stanionis. Great fucking fight. I'll wait till some people get in here, get the notifications. Can y'all hear me just fine? Empty the clip, what's good? I am saying, why they saying boost drain is because they not used to fighters right before the weigh-in. They're expecting everybody to look like they're at that walk-around weight when that's not reality. That's just boxing fans not being in the gym and not understanding that everybody, like, yo, you look at every fighter out, like, off camp, off weight, and then you see them, like, the day before the weigh-in, 2 days before the weigh-in, completely different guys. Well, yeah, it's not that they're being biased, they just don't really have a point of reference. Especially Boots is one of these, for some reason, he's like a fat-faced motherfucker. Like, he, like when he gains weight, it goes straight to his face. So, you know, people are genetically different. So when fight fans see somebody's face different than normal, first thing they say is they're drained. You got to look at a couple of different things if you want to say a fighter's drained. First thing to look for is, does a fighter always have sunglasses on? You can tell a fighter is drained by their eyes, 9 times out of 10. They have like this really glazed look. Mouth super dry. Like, I ain't just talking about mouth dry, but mouth super dry. Real sluggish. Talking real slow. That's how you know fighters is drained. Y'all just look at anybody that face look different and they look like they down in weight. It's drains. 2 different things. Can y'all hear me just fine? We're walking through Philly right now. We're going like a 30-minute walk. I'm an old head now, so I got my watch to track all this shit. Talk to me. How y'all feeling about the fight? I think it's going to be a good fight, man. Respect to both dudes. This ain't one of those fights where it's going to be a crazy-ass build-up where guys are going to be talking shit, you know, talking about each other. You're a fucking bum. You know, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. There's 2 guys that think they're the best of the weight class, and they want to test their hand. No need for all the extra shit. Every fight ain't there. And salute to Eimantas Stanionis for not talking a good game, but carrying a good game. Like, he didn't do 100 interviews ahead of time about the fight and, you know, and it didn't happen. No, he signed the contract. He signed the contract, went to the other side of the street, and the fight got made. So salute to him, salute to PBC, salute to Eddie Hearn, salute to Jaron Ennis for getting this shit done. Stanionis is definitely a real test. He a live guy. So I know a lot of people are picking Boots, but at the same time, Stanionis is dangerous, man. Stanionis is dangerous. He's consistent. He fights at a high pace. He's not coming in there to lay down. He don't give a fuck about Jaron Ennis highlights, Jaron Ennis accolades, what we think Jaron Ennis is. He don't care about none of that shit. So expect the dude to give it his all. That's right. Hit the like button, yo. Ford versus Matisse is a good fight. I favor Raymond Ford. I mean, we seen Matisse beat a couple of times. I think Raymond Ford is just more a comfortable fighter at 130 pounds. I think Stanionis and Norman Jr. would have been a good fight too. Like, it didn't matter which one of these unifications that I see. I just need the titles unified. Like, let's get in the mix. All that talking without action is irrelevant. Now, if you're going to talk and then you're going to sign a contract, cool. If you're going to talk and you're going to get in the ring, great. But Brian Norman was right for calling out Mario Barrios, because the reality is Mario Barrios is over there doing God knows what. Everybody else is trying to get in the mix, negotiating with each other, trying to get these unification fights, and Mario Barrios is over there. And I ain't saying he's scared, because he done fought tough fights. I'm just saying he seems to be trying to go in a different direction that's centered around money, and I'm not mad at that, but you gotta call him out that there's plenty of guys for him to fight that's not been retired for like 5 or 6 years. Because I know he's been trying to fight Manny Pacquiao. I understand he want that payday and drop the belt. Because if you ain't gonna get in there with none of these active dudes, then drop the belt. There's plenty of guys that need opportunities. Connor Benz, Rashidi Ellis's, Chakram Giyasov. Now you got Dev moving up. You got Ryan moving up. You got Tio moving up. Yes. If you fighting in a title eliminator or a championship bout with the IBF, you have a rehydration clause. That's going to be one of the biggest factors in this fight. A lot of people ain't talking about that. Everybody listen to Ryan complain about a rehydration clause with Tank, and they let that be used as an excuse. But the reality is, IBF fighters have rehydration clauses. So dude's been saying that Boots is a weight bully, but he's been fighting under a rehydration clause for like the last 2-3 years. What kind of Boots are you want to see come fight night with no rehydration clause? Roger, I actually cut weight for, what was it? I think it was Karen Chicago. And what I noticed that fighters eat, or what they told me to eat, chicken, mind you, of course, not fried chicken, turkey, vegetables, fruit, real light starches, real light on the carbohydrates. But it can't be no shit like rice. If you anything, you gotta eat brown rice. A lot of water. Not too much beef, Leo. Not too much beef. Very rarely. Very rarely. Like sometimes some dudes steak it up. Like if you it kind of depends on your weight though. Kind of depends on your weight more than anything. What do you walk around at? Because if you're a dude that got to cut 20 to 30, then now you ain't fucking with no beef. But if you're a dude that cut 10 to 15, then you might fuck with a steak here and there, but it got to be lean. It can't be a fatty cut. Pause. Who's the next best boxer coming out of Philly? Shit. That's a tough question. We got a bunch. But if you want to say out of the amateurs, I'm going to say 2 kids. Salim Bey, Dan Brown. In 2 completely contrasting styles. Dan Brown's a puncher. Salim Bey is like a fucking complete boxer. So, yeah. Philly. We won't know if Boots is moving up till after this fight. I don't know if he's going to get a unification. I don't know if he's not going to get it. A lot of people didn't think he would get this one. I mean, if y'all was listening to Dan Raphael and all that, he was saying that Boots was turning down fights for unification that wasn't going to happen. That go to show you that motherfucking sources ain't what they was 10 and 20 years ago. Because I knew about fucking Amanda Stanionis for months. As a matter of fact, PBC called the night of the Karen Chikazin fight. So, yeah, Juan Rivera is a professional now, though. And that's why I said the amateurs, it'd be those two. And the professionals, we got a lot, bro. Ishmael Muhammad, Juan Rivera Jr., Lamar Smith Jr., fuck, man, it's a bunch of kids. That just, Jabril Noble, it's a bunch of kids, yo. Yeah, hey, if they going to Japan, they going to Japan. Still got Mario out there. Hey, big soldiers. I don't understand that, yo. How much running do guys do? I think they run like 4 or 5 times a week, maybe more. Yeah, big soldier, I don't understand that logic, right? I know Ortiz and Boots is a fight that people wanted to see, but people didn't give Ortiz shit when it didn't happen at 47. And they want Boots to move up, coming off of a fight and fight in 2 months. Like, he literally would only have a 2 month in between and fight a dude that has no belt at 154. Don't make sense. Respectfully. Appreciate the $5 super chat to my man Vaughn. What up, Vaughn? It don't make sense. Oh, the fight, Jaron Ennis on fucking Dimitri Bivol's undercard. Fucking Virgil Ortiz versus Boots is, I know people are gonna give me shit for this, but commercially a bigger fight than Better Be versus Bivol when it happens. And deep in your soul, y'all know it. So, nah, I don't think that fight should have occurred then, and I don't think that it's ready now. That's a pay-per-view fight, and I see it happening 2026, latest 2027. Virgil's definitely getting better, but I got Virgil getting stopped too. Respectfully. I think Virgil is tailor-made. Virgil's going to come forward. Virgil's going to throw a lot of punches, and he's going to try to apply pressure. That's the last thing that he should do. Connie, how's it going? Oh no, we gotta see. I looked at Stanionis against Virgil. That was an even fight. I was really excited for that fight. But now Boots is doing what Virgil couldn't do physically. He couldn't make 47, and he pushed, damn near killed himself to try to make it. So now Boots is getting a fight. And we gotta see. Virgil put on 2 back-to-back. Whoa. I can't even say 2 back-to-back. Because Virgil looked like shit against Boyachuk. He didn't look good. But he looked really good against Madrimov. So salute to him for that, for rebounding. But yeah, he looked like shit against Boyachuk. Got dropped twice. Yeah, I didn't expect that. You said Virgil stopped Stanionis. I mean, shit, we could have saw it, but now we'll never know. Shit. Like, one thing that I'm on, we got to see these fights. So I can believe that Virgil will get stopped by Boots, but I gotta see it. It's easy to say. Oh yeah, people do pretend that Virgil versus Boy never happened. You gotta understand is they have different expectations for different guys. Some guys, it's okay for them to get hit as long as they're warriors, as long as they're tough. Some guys can't get hit. Some guys can show vulnerability. Some guys can't show vulnerability. It's all about how the boxing fan sees them. What do they think their ceiling is? Yo, hit the like button, yo. Big Soldier, I come out and say, black fighters are judged a certain metric. Mexican fighters are judged by a certain metric. Mexican fighters they get grace, but they also get bullshit as well. Let me explain. If a Mexican fighter boxes and doesn't engage, Mexican fans would call that fighter a coward. Even if he wins, if he boxes off the back foot and just wins on points, he would get called a coward. But at the same time, a Mexican fighter could be getting his head fucking knocked off, and they'll call him a warrior, even if he loses. Black fighters get criticism all the way around. You get criticism if you box, you get criticism if you bang. Because if you box, you know, fans of other races will say you run it. If you bang, people will say you ain't got no defense, you get hit too much. It's really expectations. Whatever expectations the fighter has, fan base, then that's how they'll be judged. Yo, subscribe to my man Town Biz. Subscribe to Empty the Clip Boxing. Who y'all got Saturday? Jaron Ennis, a man of Stanionis. Ooh, it's cooking shit. I arrive in Atlantic City tomorrow. Yeah, but styles make fights. Daniels, styles make fights. Did Virgil do better than Bud? I don't think so. I had both fights like 8-4, 7-5. Well, actually, I had Bud a clean 8-4. I don't know where people got this from that Madrimov gave him this super tough of a fight. It was clean, bro. Wasn't no controversy. This shit was super clean. And Virgil looked good. Virgil won. He looked good. He neutralized a lot of what Madrimov was doing in the middle rounds. Let's turn it back around. And he got a clean victory. Now, the whole Virgil shit, Virgil versus Bachram. What I noticed is you got more people saying Boots ducked Virgil, who wasn't in his division, than you have people saying Virgil ducked Bachram. Gotta stop picking and choosing. Bachram's in his division. Virgil's never won a world title, never fought for a world title. And Bachram would be that chance. And now you hear Oscar saying, oh man, that's too many tough fights in a row. So you don't want him to win a world title? I understand the logic, but he hasn't won one yet. You're treating him like he's a champion, but he's not. Virgil Ortiz is not a champion. The reality of Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, they're all about trying to sell tickets. And every promotion is trying to sell tickets, but their fighters, if you take a look at them, their fighters are avoiding title shots because it's fights they look like they can lose. That's just the truth. Look at the pattern of behavior. Williams Zepeda. He could have fought Shakur. He chose the rematch Tevin Farmer. Ryan Garcia. When has Ryan Garcia ever fought for a world title? Virgil Ortiz. When has Virgil Ortiz ever fought for a world title? He hasn't yet. So they three biggest fighters haven't fought for a world title yet. Come on. Kid Austin hasn't fought for a world title. A lot of publicity, but it ain't a lot of walk with that talk. And I ain't saying they scared. I'm looking at the dudes in charge. But I got off topic. Let's talk about the breakdown for the fight, right? All right, so Stanionis is a come-forward fighter. Really, really active, stiff jab. Fights in a crouching style. And does a lot of body hook combinations. And likes to throw in between your shots. Throws a lot of looping shots, right? And what we've seen is when Jaron Ennis has the tendency to stay in the pocket, and when in exchange, he's susceptible to left hooks and looping shots. We saw that in the Karen Chikazin fight, right? And David Avanesian. But what we've seen work on Eimantas Stanionis before is movement, angles, and turning him. Turning him, using the jab, up top, changing levels, and just basically just running your hands and constantly making him reset. We saw that in the Thomas Lorme fight. We also saw Gabriel Mestre have a lot of success on the inside fighting with Eimantas Stanionis along with Butaev. And Butaev is a switcher as well. So I think Stanionis' keys to the fight is to, number one, land the jab, cut the ring off, but make Jaron Ennis engage you into a fight. If Stanionis can do those things, then he has a chance of winning. Now, with Jaron Ennis, I feel like the key to Jaron Ennis is, number one, not getting into a dogfight. Stay out of the trenches from rounds 1 through 6. Stab jab. Stab jab is the key to Boots defeating Stanionis, right? Stab jab often, and then do an up jab off the stab jab. Stanionis resets a lot. I mean, a lot. So if you can't land the jab, use angles, move, stab, move, stab, move, stab. Then off of the stab, up jab, look for a lot of check hooks. And Stanionis has the tendency to crouch and lean in, uppercut. So if you do that for the first 6 rounds, and mind you, Stanionis is a very, very sturdy guy, and he might still be there in 6 rounds. The stab is going to slow him down. Good body work has always taken out a lot out of fighters in the early rounds. By the 6th and 7th round, he'll be completely slowed down, and then that's when you can start walking to him. If you back Stanionis up, that's the end of the fight. Stanionis does really, really well boxing off the front foot, but off the back foot, he's a fish out of water. So, keys to victory for Jaron Ennis: box, angles, jab with level changes. Make Stanionis reach, long uppercut. Stanionis, establish the jab early, lure Jaron Ennis to a fight, and punch while he punches. What's your thoughts on the breakdown? I think Stanionis reminds me of more Sergey Lipinus than anything. Sergey Lipinets with a more consistent jab. But he's definitely a tough competitor, right? And he's consistent. The same Stanionis you get in round 1 is the same Stanionis you get in round 7. What he does really well. Straight up and down. Plain hoagie. Plain hoagie. A plain hoagie, but a good hoagie. But plain. What you see is what you get. And when I say plain hoagie, I'm not saying it to be disrespectful. I'm saying it's a basic guy that he goes out there and you're never going to get variation. Like, you don't know what Terrence Crawford you're going to see. Terrence Crawford shows up differently in every fight, right? You can see the Terrence Crawford that moved a lot against Victor Postal. You can see catch and shoot Terrence Crawford that you saw against Errol Spence. You can see trench work Terrence Crawford that you saw against Igis Kabaliaskis. It all depends on what you bring to the table and what he feel like he can capitalize on. Where Errol Spence and a Manny Stanionis type of guys, or Virgil Ortiz type of guys, is what you see is what you get. You're going to get this jab, and you're going to get body work and punches and bunches. Oh, man, who you bet on? You got 100 on Virgil? All right. When that time comes, yeah. I got 100 on Boots. No, but look at what Thomas Lorme was having success with. Stanionis had trouble tracking him down with the jab. If he can land the jab, he can run his combinations. If he can't land the jab, he has to constantly reset. So that's what would be the goal for Jaron Ennis. Give him angles, make him reset, and run your hands. Take the stab, touch him to the body to where as though you're slowly zapping energy out of him. Every stab, whop, whop, whop. Then run the lead left hook off the jab. Oh, yeah, off the stab to the body. But yeah, it should be a really, really good fucking fight, man. Salute to both guys for making it happen. Salute to PBC, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, Jaron Ennis, and Stanionis. Two guys that walk the walk. I love the talking because, of course, I make money off of it. But the reality is, it's too much talking right now. You got dudes that are on Twitter arguing with each other and they ain't never gonna fight. So it's like, what's the fucking point of arguing? Yeah, I've looked at Stanionis a couple times, man. Stanionis is a good fighter. It's just that he don't really talk that much and hasn't really been promoted that well. And so he doesn't have the fanfare of some of these other guys. But this is a really, really good fight. And we're going to see the best come out of both guys. Because he's not going to lay down. He don't give a fuck about none of that Matrix shit, bro. He don't care. He don't care. And what I've been seeing a different Boots. He didn't want to fight David Avanesian. He didn't want to fight Karen Chagazin. He was forced to. He wanted one of the champions, and he got him. And so you're going to see a really, really hungry, focused Boots. And that's what makes this a great fucking fight. All the Terrence Crawford fans wanted to see Boots. Oh, man, you trying to jump the line. Crawford ain't worried about you. Why don't you fight this guy? Why don't you fight that guy? Why don't you build your legacy instead of, trying to build it off of Crawford? Okay, well, he's doing that. So Show up to AC. Watch the fight. D Hall, appreciate the $2 super chat. Hey, Grass, you right. It could. My point is, he coming to fight. He coming to fight, and he's coming to bring his best. And that should be commended. Because he could have made excuses like a lot of other dudes. But he chose to sign that paper. Whoo! I got Tank, but in another dogfight. My opinion, Stanionis is going to get stopped. There's either two things, right? I see this going two different ways. It's either Stanionis going to get broken down, or Stanionis is going to walk down a dark alley and get shot. By the dark alley and get shot, I mean Stanionis might walk into a shot. I think Boots uses a lot of movement, sets a trap, and Stanionis could end up on a milk carton like this. But either way, he has my respect. Yo, I'm not sleeping on him saying he gets stopped. I'm just analyzing the fight. Now, if Stanionis does go 12, I feel like that's worse for him. Because he's going to take a sustained beating for 12 rounds. It ain't always the one-punch knockouts, the super highlight reel knockouts that get you. It's those sustained beatings. Like, if Terrence Crawford would have knocked Errol Spence down, well, knocked him out that third round where he got him hurt, Spence would have came back a year later. But him whooping his ass for 9 rounds is what damaged Errol Spence's career. I think Karen would give a lot of top guys problems at 147 pounds. I'm not sure about that. Stanionis versus Vila, that would have been a really good fight. Stanionis versus Lipinus would have been a really good fight. So I can't say that he would have 100% beat everybody on Boots' resume. I can 100% say that Boots would have beat everybody on Stanionis' resume. I saw Gabriel Mestre have a lot of success. I saw Thomas Delorme have a lot of success. Go back, Thomas Delorme, what was that fight? Like 115, 113, 116, 112? And of course, Styles make fights, but I can't say that for certain. Ike, if Stanionis stop Boots, I'm going to say he's a bad motherfucker. See, that's my issue, right? I'm supposed to be objective, but I'm giving you exactly what I believe. If you believe something different, that doesn't make me biased. You just believe something different. Dudes got to get out of their fucking emotions with shit. BVO. Brian Norman is coming, so please hide the women and kids. Shit, Brian Norman was supposed to be coming in November. Shit. Wasn't supposed to be a Karen Chicago. So, yeah. This was supposed to be the third unification bout. Well, I'm sorry, the second. This is like Barrios was supposed to be left. So, yeah, I definitely hope that he doesn't fight Jin Sasaki. Now, if he gets Barrios next, I'm not mad at that. If Brian gets Barrios next, good move. Because now he would have secured himself a bigger slice of the pie. You're bringing a belt, 2 unified champions going head to head. So, yeah, if he can make that shit happen, do it. Now, if it's a choice between Jin Sasaki and Boots, then of course fight Boots. But if you can get Barrios, then get Barrios. All right, so Ike Mike, right? I think sometimes as a YouTuber, well, first I'm a journalist. I was a writer first that got on YouTube. But I'm giving my honest assessment. Do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to tell you something I don't believe? I believe, like, I spent a whole fucking 10, 15 minutes gassing up Stanionis, talking about what he does well, what he could do to win. But I don't see him winning. Like, so you want me to lie? I'm just saying, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I tell you that I feel like Brian Norman versus Stanionis, I think that's a good fight. I think this fight's 50-50. I think it could be a situation of whoever can see Brian. All right, so Brian Norman, they both fight in a similar style. Brian Norman's just more athletic. And so I've seen Brian Norman shift and use angles on the inside. At the same time, I feel like Stanionis' hands might be a little bit more explosive, where Brian Norman might be a bit more heavy-handed. And so can Stanionis sustain that pace when Brian Norman is throwing that heavy shit back at him? We'll have to see it. Brian Norman versus Barrios, I think Brian Norman stops Barrios. So, I think that's 50-50. Solid. Can Brian Norman, can Stanionis beat Brian Norman? Yeah. Can Brian Norman beat Stanionis? Yeah, bro. He can. He can. Brian Norman can punch, yo. He can punch. See, I don't know if Brian Norman hits harder than Boots. I would say Brian Norman is definitely a puncher, though. But they have 2 styles of punching. Brian Norman's hands might be heavy, but Jaron Ennis' hands might be more explosive. Who should the winner fight after this? All right. So, I don't know, man. All right, so it all depends on if Brian Norman and Barrios fight. If they fight, then the winner should fight like T.O. or Dev or somebody like that. If Brian Norman or Barrios don't fight, then you pick your poison. Pick either one of those dudes. It don't matter. But if Brian Norman and Barrios fight, then yeah, T.O. will probably be the best bet. That would be the guy that you should fight at 147 pounds, because he's the guy that seems like he's willing to come up. And it's a big name as far as like, notoriety, not as far as ticket sales, but yeah. All right, y'all. I'm done my walk. I'm about to sign off. I appreciate y'all. I'll begin my fucking fight night coverage on Thursday. Well, my fight week coverage on Thursday, and I will provide y'all with a whole bunch of interviews. I even go live a couple times, and yeah, check me out.